A doctor in China has raised concerns about four popular children's toys, urging parents to avoid them and dispose of them immediately.
第一个呢，捏捏乐。
The first one is squishy fun. Although it looks cute and feels soft, most of these toys contain excessive levels of formaldehyde. Long-term contact can cause skin allergies, eczema, in severe cases, damage to the nervous and immune systems. The second one is crystal mud. It's colorful, fun, and a stress reliever, but it contains borax in its materials. If kids handle it for a long time or put their hands with crystal mud into their mouths, they may ingest borax. This could lead to stomach pain, vomiting, or even poisoning in severe cases. The third one is water babies. These have strong water-absorbing properties. If a child eats one, it will absorb water in the intestines and expand, which could cause intestinal obstruction. Plus, most water babies on the market are unregulated products, and their ingredients could be toxic. The fourth is magnetic balls. They are very easy to swallow and stick together, and if a child swallows them, it can cause gastrointestinal blockage, perforation, or even death.
Online commenters remarked, "You let them produce, let them transport, let them sell, let them advertise, and then tell me I can't buy the product?" One department is responsible for production, one for sales, one for warnings, one for dealing with poisoning, and one for treatment. I'll have my daughter watch it on a loop 100 times.
大家最近有没有刷到一个捏捏博主不幸患癌的新闻？
Have any of you seen the news about a squishy fun TikToker who sadly developed cancer? While it's shocking and upsetting, I realize immediately that there's really is an information barrier in society which keeps many people from seeing the dangers around them. If I hadn't searched for it, I wouldn't have known either. Things like squishy fun, quicksand, acrylic, blind boxes, plush toys, and nail art are all heavy on formaldehyde. From what I've found so far, China doesn't have a unified formaldehyde release standard for plush toys or soft plastic toys. Most of the time, it comes down to the integrity of the manufacturer. The TikTok user shared that a nurse recently revealed that a 23-year-old man was admitted to the hospital 2 years ago suffering from cancer. He has an entire cabinet of blind box figures at home. When they saw it, they were taken aback, as there have been reports for years about blind boxes containing formaldehyde. But many are still unaware of this issue. 1 or 2 blind boxes might be fine, but if many are piled together in a closed space for a long time, it is possible for formaldehyde levels to exceed safe limits. There are also concerns that many people might not consider, such as those who make quicksand acrylic or apply makeup to ball-jointed dolls. Workers in these fields often wear gas masks daily, and wig makers face similar concerns as they work with large amounts of glue. Speaking of glue, many women often come into contact with things like fake nails, eyelash glue, and strip lashes, which all contain glue. But how do we know if that glue contains formaldehyde? How do we know if it exceeds the safe limit? We don't. I've seen some posts where people say, "Oh, I started feeling dizzy while doing my makeup. My eyes hurt and I just couldn't stop tearing up." Maybe it's from being exposed to toxins. It's quite frightening when you think about it. For the sake of our health, we should try to use less of these products, or at least choose ones that can provide formaldehyde reports. And don't forget about sanitary pads. This is a topic that's been going around for a while. Many women overlook the issue of adhesive residue. I once stuck a sanitary pad to a table, and after a while when I took it off, I found the table was sticky. The transparent residue can stay on clothes. You won't notice it, and even washing them multiple times may not get rid of it completely. We change sanitary pads several times a day, and we don't even know how much adhesive could be left on our underwear by the end of the day. I want to tell you that the reason I made this video isn't to create anxiety, but to raise awareness so that more of us can notice these hidden dangers around us. In the comment section, some users reacted, "Oh my gosh, I never thought about the adhesive residue on sanitary pads. I'll definitely be more careful from now on. I'll make sure to wear different underwear for menstruation and non-menstruation days. I study chemistry, so let me add, there should be no formaldehyde, no glue, no benzene, no paint, just be cautious." Chinese-made toxin products have long posed a threat to public health, and related reports continue to surface. On June 3rd, the topic of toxic sandals causing early puberty in children went viral, reigniting public concern. People are questioning, where are the regulatory authorities? Or how can such toxin sandals be produced and sold in the market? According to a report from Upstream News, various styles of children's sandals are available on the market, such as crystal shoes, hole shoes, and jelly shoes. However, these attractive sandals may pose hidden dangers. Due to the variety of materials used, without careful selection, consumers could unknowingly purchase toxic products that could harm children's health. A recent survey showed that among 50 pairs of PVC children's sandals purchased from 5 different e-commerce platforms, 25 pairs exceeded the safe limits of phthalates, with an overall phthalate exceeding rate of 50%. The average excess level for the 25 pairs of sandals was 365 times the safe limit, with one sample exceeding the limit by 509 times. One particular model with a 496-fold excess had over 1 million units sold. Additionally, 80% of the samples found with excessive levels lacked proper labeling. Phthalates are cheap plasticizers that can enter the human body through skin contact or inhalation. Overuse can cause early puberty in children, impair reproductive development, and increase the risk of diseases like asthma, allergies, and chronic heavy metal poisoning. In adult males, sperm quality can decline, and females may experience endocrine disruptions. Industry insiders remind parents to avoid buying shoes with unclear origins or labeling. It's safer to choose products from reputable brands to reduce the risk of purchasing 3 no products online, products that have no production date, manufacturer, or production address information. Parents should check for brand, manufacturer, and quality certification and opt for sandals made from safer materials such as EVA rather than PVC. The issue has sparked heated discussion and skepticism among mainland internet users. A well-known influencer on Weibo commented, "I happen to have worked in the industry before, so let me explain. The main issue with these products is that they are made from PVC, and the excessive phthalates in them can lead to early puberty and asthma in children. Most of the whole shoes, however, are made of EVA material, which usually doesn't require phthalates, making them much safer." Why do the top-ranked sandals on e-commerce platforms have half of them exceeding the standard by hundreds of times? It's a result of price wars. Manufacturers trying to cut costs end up using cheap plasticizers. Cheap plasticizers are like water-retaining agents in the food industry. The more you add, the cheaper it gets, and the more they make without any concern for safety. Another commenter added, "So where are the regulatory authorities? Are they just sitting in their offices playing on their phones, not doing their jobs? These products have already flooded the market, and you want consumers to notice? How are consumers supposed to know? They never go to the source, they only react after something happens. Is this useful?" Life is really tough. From what we eat, wear, and use, we have to figure it all out on our own. What are these regulatory departments doing? Almost every county has a so-called quality control unit. What are they doing? You can produce and sell these products, but then tell the public to figure out what to avoid? It's ridiculous. Why don't you just release the brands, release the stores? At least people could avoid them. Another user remarked, "The toxic and harmful products made in communist China don't just harm their own people. They've already spread beyond their borders and are harming the entire world." On May 26, French customs announced that they had seized around 6,000 small sheep plush toys imported from China at the Fos-sur-Mer port near Marseille. The toys were found to contain excessive levels of heavy metals, posing a potential risk to children's health and would be destroyed according to the law. AFP reported that the plush toys, which looked harmless, were originally intended to be sold to a wholesale company in France's Pyrenees and Lentiques department and redistributed within the French market. However, during a routine check of the shipping documents, custom officials grew suspicious and conducted further physical inspections and sample testing. The results showed that the toys contained chromium-6, a highly toxic heavy metal which exceeded the EU's allowable limit by nearly 8 times. Customs emphasized that chromium-6 is carcinogenic, mutagenic, and toxic to reproduction. Since infants often put plush toys in their mouth, they are at a higher risk of exposure. Custom officials in the Marseille region have stated in a press release that the batch of toys poses a substantial risk to children's health. The relevant authorities have decided to destroy all the items in accordance with the law. China expert Li Yuanhua explained that many Chinese products are priced so low not only due to intellectual property theft or violations, but also because harmful substances, even toxic ones, are used to cut costs. Many of these products are poorly made, misleading consumers and making it difficult for the average person to discern. The European Union has the strictest safety regulations for toy products, and in recent years it has consistently criticized Chinese-made toys for failing to meet safety standards. At a press conference in Brussels, EU Industry Commissioner Antonio Tajani presented several made-in-China toys that did not meet standards, including toy ducks with small parts, children's life rings, and shoes. These items were considered dangerous goods. The EU even spent €70,000 to produce a promotional video on the issue. During the press conference, Antonio Tajani displayed two small children's shoes and stated that they were seized in Italy. He highlighted that the chromium yellow content in these shoes exceeded the standard by 10 times. Typically, an excess of just 3 milligrams would classify a substance as a toxic carcinogen. Tajani also noted that most toys sold in EU stores are manufactured in China. Tajani also released EU Commission's investigation data showing that 58% of products from China were categorized as counterfeit dangerous goods, affecting nearly all industries, such as toys, tools, and textiles. These low-quality products have severely impacted the European job market. Due to violations of EU consumer protection laws and online platform regulations, Chinese e-commerce platforms Shein and Temu are now under investigation by EU authorities. The EU has pointed out that platforms like Temu and Shein fail to take adequate steps to prevent the sale of products that do not meet European standards. According to consumer protection tests, more than 90% of products sold on platforms like Shein and Temu do not comply with EU laws and contain toxic chemicals. Apart from flooding the global market with toxic chemical products, China has recently drawn attention for another dangerous illegal product. On May 29th, regarding the issue of illegal gun parts being smuggled into the United States, Ranking Member Raja Krishnamurthy of the Select Committee on Strategic Competition between the United States and the Chinese Communist Party sent a letter to the Acting Director of U.S. Customs and Border Protection (CBP) Pete R. Flores requesting information on the issue. Earlier, ABC-7 TV stations in Chicago reported on illegal weapons parts seized at the O'Hare International Airport's Mail Processing Center, sparking public concerns. CBP official on-site stated, "Over the last fiscal year, we've seen an uptick in the interception of Glock switches, Auto Series silencers, all types of contraband coming from China and Hong Kong." So, CBP has chosen to focus on intercepting a lot of these parcels, get them off the streets on the back end. Glock switches are a device that can convert a handgun into a fully automatic machine gun, which can be used for deadly shootings. According to U.S. federal law, owning these devices in the U.S. is illegal. Last year alone, Chicago Customs and Border Protection officers seized over 1,500 Glock switches. These illegal weapons parts are not only being intercepted at Chicago's International Airport. CBP officers revealed that similar cases of illegal gun parts being smuggled have also been reported at California ports and in Louisville, Kentucky in previous years. These banned items often enter the U.S. disguised as legal products, helping them bypass customs inspections. U.S. Customs stated that this is a common smuggling tactic, such as labeling detachable magazine semi-automatic firearms as steel pin samples. At the end of last year, the U.S. Attorney in Boston announced that since August 2023, investigations into websites, businesses, and individuals involved in the illegal sale and importation of machine gun conversion devices had led to the seizures of more than 700 machine gun conversion devices, 87 legal silencers, 59 handguns, and 46 long guns. According to the prosecutor, U.S. law enforcement officers secretly purchased gun-related items from these websites, and the packages from China falsely claimed to contain necklaces or toys. These also included banned Glock switches and silencers. Federal investigations continue to show that illegal gun parts from China are endangering American lives and fueling gun violence across the U.S., leading to many arrests and seizures. Analysts point out that gun parts in China can only be produced by government-controlled military enterprises, which closely monitor the quantity and flow of these goods. This form of illegal smuggling targeting US domestically goes beyond ordinary commercial trade and is directly linked to US gun violence. It is comparable to China's supply of raw materials for fentanyl production to global drug cartels. Even more concerning is that if we view the toxic and harmful products exported by China as deadly substances, China is not only exporting drugs through trade, but also intentionally spreading them through human trafficking. Recently, the US captured a Chinese mule, a person smuggling drugs under the guise of a scholar. On June 3rd, the US Department of Justice revealed that Yunqing Zhen, a Chinese scholar at the University of Michigan, was accused of attempting to smuggle a biological pathogen into the United States, which is considered a potential agriculture terrorism weapon. The pathogen could be used to attack food crops. According to details released by the Detroit Federal Court, 33-year-old Chinese citizen Yunqing Jian and her 34-year-old boyfriend Junyong Liu are suspected of smuggling a pathogen called Fusarium graminearum into the US. Fusarium graminearum, according to Food Security magazine, destroys the growth of wheat, barley, corn, and rice, causing billions of dollars in economic losses worldwide each year. Additionally, toxins produced by Fusarium graminearum can cause vomiting, liver damage, and reproductive defects in livestock and humans. Moreover, Jen and Liu are facing several federal charges, including conspiracy to defraud the US, smuggling, making false statements to investigators, and visa fraud. Investigators found that Jen is a Chinese national and a loyal member of the CCP. The prosecution stated that she holds a PhD in plant pathology from Zhejiang University and was conducting postdoctoral research funded by a CCP government-supported foundation. FBI agents noted in documents that when Customs and Border Protection (CBP) officials questioned Liu, she lied about his purpose for visiting the US and whether he was aware of the biological pathogen he carried. However, he eventually admitted to smuggling the pathogen, explaining that he brought it into the US for research at the University of Michigan laboratory where Jan works. Acting U.S. Attorney Jerome Gorgon stated that the action of these Chinese citizens, one a loyal CCP member, raised the most serious national security concerns. He added that the two foreign nationals were accused of smuggling a fungus described as a potential agricultural terrorism weapon into the heart of the United States, seemingly using the University of Michigan laboratory to advance their plan. This is the second case in less than a week involving Chinese citizens linked to U.S. universities being charged with criminal offenses. On May 30th, prosecutors announced a criminal case against a former Chinese student from the University of Michigan for illegally voting in the 2024 election. The individual has since fled the U.S. to avoid persecution. Chinese commentators remarked, while not all, many toxic and harmful products made in communist China have spread globally, posing a threat to all of humanity. But the most dangerous aspect is not just the products themselves, but also the loyal CCP members who produce them, and their efforts to spread lies and harmful ideologies to influence people around the world. This is something everyone should be aware of.